Anyways, it's 2023, my man. It's a crazy year.
Yeah, almost March. Christ Almighty.
Christ Almighty. Yeah, what the fuck? It's already almost March. Jesus Christ. Those first 2 months are such bullshit. Honestly, the first 4 months of the year are just bullshit, and the rest of the year is real.
Once taxes come around.
Yeah. The fucking problem is that, like, my 5-year anniversary with my girlfriend's fucking in March, and then her birthday's in April, so it's just like, fuck. Like, it literally goes like, I have a bunch of people's birthdays in January, then it's Valentine's Day, then it's the Super Bowl, then it's fucking Oscars, then it's fucking anniversary, then birthday.
Man. Yeah, it's been a busy start to the year too for me, because like there was Mardi Gras and the Super Bowl, and I went to see Max's show on this past Thursday, which was fire.
But I saw the footage of you in person with Max. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was tight.
You should drop that in here, in fact, Tony. You should,
I will. I took my own video of it to put in here, so I'm gonna do that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was super chill. Like, it was like 40 minutes away, which sucked. It was on the opposite side of town for me. But and they were staying at like 30 minutes even further than that. So I was like, I can't really chill with them after. But and it was on a weeknight.
That would be a 70-minute drive at that point.
It would be, yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah, 2 ways. So I'd be driving like 2 hours or whatever. But
damn, big ass city.
It's funny because I worked out really hard before I went to the show, and then I had 3 beers there. Like, I got one, just planning to get one, but I was like, this is really fucking good beer. And so I got 2 more, and the whole next day I was just fully cooked. Just like, I wasn't like
exhausted.
I didn't have like a debilitating headache or like nausea, but I just felt like saturated in goo, just like all the way through the next night. So I saw the Thursday.
Because you worked out beforehand, or because...
Yeah, that's what my buddy was telling me. He said, after you do a really hard workout, if you then go and drink alcohol, the whole like recovery process that your body is trying to go through to like rebuild the muscles, it just gets fully stopped. And so I didn't get any benefits from that workout. And then my body was just like, the next day was like, what did you do to us? Like, we were trying to rebuild, and then you gave us poison. And so Friday night I was trying to hang out with them, and I like literally couldn't. I was just like, I can't, man. I just got to stay in bed. Like I didn't stay in bed, but I just stayed in my room and took it easy, because they were like, come see Cocaine Bear with us.
Fuck, dude.
Wanted to go do that, but it was another 40-minute drive to go see that and then drive back, and I was just like, I don't have the fucking bandwidth to do that.
I wish I could have seen that with them. That would have been fun.
Yeah, I was bummed about that, but still had a good night the first night.
Life's full of disappointment, chaos, and pain, but anyways, nice.
Yeah. So
cool.
But it was chill.
That's
though.
Fun. Yeah. They're God, he's been gone for a while.
He has been, and then he'll be back next episode, he said, and then 2 more episodes he'll be gone after that for a different tour. And so hoping to have young John on for one of those.
Wow, shut the fuck up real quick, Tony.
Oh yeah, okay.
Sorry,
that's my bad. I'm out of line.
Yeah, well,
I'm out of
one,
pocket.
Genuinely shut the fuck up. I don't know what you're talking about. Shut up. But 2, shut up because I forgot something.
Oh, okay. Word?
Not a word, a thing.
No, I was just saying, like, generally, like, word. Like,
word? You forget? Word? You fretted? You're fretful, even though that's not what that means. Yes, I forgot to introduce the podcast.
Cool.
Yeah. People of all gender identifications, it is Tuesday, February 28th, 2023. I am broke. I had so much more money. 6-7 months ago, I had so much more money. I don't know how I got this broke. I had more money than I could probably have saved if I saved up for the whole year and stayed on a budget and saved. I'd probably 3 times that. Welcome to another episode of Wokenboke. Boom!
More like woke and broke.
Oh, God, it's real. Episode 172 to be exact. I am your host, one of your hosts, Connor Boyd. Hi. Hello. What else can I say? Aha, he, aha, oh. Doesn't he say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. He, ha, aha. And they're like, really?
He's like,
we're running with this?
My jokes were bad.
Yeah. And I thought my jokes were cringe. I thought my laugh was cringe. Yeah. What's up? You may know me as Moschino Dorito from TikTok. You may know me as Connor Boyd from Jaded Forum or Real Life. You may know me from, who knows? Who knows? This is my passion project of about 3.5 years now. Right?
Yeah.
What would you say?
It's 3.5 years. 3 full years, and then the end of 2018, the beginning of 2023. So
pretty consistently. 2019. It was the end of 2019.
2019, yeah, sorry.
October of 2019. It is a podcast that I do with my two best friends from the great gateway. Well, I'm just going to start calling it the great city of St. Louis. In fact, I am going to do that because I don't agree with the gateway to the West. I think it's man's chest destiny.
Manuel Miranda. Yeah.
Lin-Manuel Miranda's destiny. Anyways, I'm joined by usually my best friends from the great city of St. Louis, Missouri. One of them, as we were discussing, is not here. He is on tour with Lobby Boxer Fire Band. Tony, drop in some Lobby Boxer real quick. And we're back. Fire band that I love. They're fire. They're just like my girlfriend's band. They're just legitimately fire, and they're easy to like because they make good music. And so he'll be back, sounds like next week. And then what did you say? He's off on another adventure, another quest?
Yeah, another small tour of like 2 weeks. So he'll miss 2 weekends after that.
Gotcha. Well, anyways, that would be Max Sanza. So we are missing him, but we'll see him soon. And as usual, my compadre is here. The founding father of, God damn it, I hate these colonial ass references. The grandpa of Wokenboke, the co-grandpa of Wokenboke, Tony Harrop is here. Tony, what the fuck, dude? What's up?
I'm primarily chilling.
I'm primarily geeked up. That's great. That's fantastic. For those that don't know, Tony is now editing these episodes. It is a huge weight off my shoulders. It's fantastic. So please reach out, congratulate him, rub him on his belly, pat him on the head. Okay?
Scratch behind the ears.
So what this show is basically every week we get together and just catch up. What we've been watching, playing, doing. Doesn't matter. We like anime, manga shit. We like movies, video games, music, internet shit, current event shit. Sometimes we get deep, talk about life. It's whatever. It's just a fun podcast that you can reliably expect once a week. And yes, we've had some in the last month or probably since the beginning of the new year, some less consistent times. But I assure you, if you look at our record, incredibly consistent show. We're talking once a week, every week for like 3.5 years. So you can subscribe to us on YouTube if you want to catch that. We're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts as well. You can join our Discord. You can follow us on Twitter at wokenbokepod. our Instagram at wokenbokepodcast. And you can also reach out to our Gmail, which is wokenbokepodcast at gmail.com with your questions, comments, and suggestions. And we will read those on the show, and links to all those are in the description of the episode. So, folks, welcome. We're here. Got that out of the way early because we got plenty to talk about.
Indeed.
First of all, let's just get into some video games.
Please.
Shall we?
Yeah.
I gotta say, I've been having a very good. And by the way, people who are new to the show, I don't know why I'm expecting there's anyone new. It's like we get one subscriber a week. I don't know why I'm like, all right, to all those out there watching, we talk about Call of Duty a lot, especially when Max isn't here. Max hasn't played as much, so it balances it out. But when it's just Tony and I, Call of Duty gets discussed. Ashika Island.
I was hoping you'd bring that up. Yeah.
Been having a real good time playing that, actually. My preferred method is solos. But you can play like you're playing by yourself, even with a team. It doesn't really matter. You can, if your goal is for what it is to me, which is to simply get better at shooting people and getting better at the mechanics of Warzone and having fun. It doesn't matter how well you do or what you place. That's kind of what I like to use the mode for. Like for that, it's very, very strong. And the way I personally like to play it is I like to put the Spotify app on my PS5, put a little Spotify on the background, and then just sesh Ashika Island. And what I do is, if it's like quads only, then I'll jump in quads and I'll just try to get kills. But I'll usually do solos, which is really fun. I've been consistently I've quite a handful of times been in the top 10 on that. It's very fun, and it's just like I'll play just some music and sesh that, and I don't really need crazy amounts of It's nice because the stakes aren't so high as they are in a regular Warzone. You're just kind of running around.
You come back if your team's alive.
You come back. Your team respawns. You respawn in solos. You get a countdown in solos. You basically respawn every time as long as you run down the 20-second clock. And then up to a certain point, I think it's maybe top 20, top 10, 15, they stop with the respawns. But
wait, can you clarify? So if you're solo on Rebirth, you come back without a team? I haven't even tried that. Or on Resurgence?
That's why it's really fun. Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
You come back without a team. So as long as you basically every life, when you touch the ground, it starts basically a 20-second counter.
You got to stay alive for 20 seconds. And then you
stay alive for 20 seconds, and then you can get deployed after you die again.
Okay.
At a certain point in the match, it gets to a later point in the match, they just turn off the respawning.
Right, of course.
And I like this a lot. I mean, you're killing a lot of people without actually wiping them, but it's still very fun. Because when you do wipe someone, it says squad wiped, even though it's just one person. So that's how you know. But it's just a very fun map.
It is.
I wish from a color perspective it was a little bit more easy to see. It's very gray.
Yes, I was saying that to Shiva. I was like, dude, and he's like, dude, you're always saying this, and I'm like, I've only said it once, but it's very true.
It looks so gray.
Yeah, I wish it was golden hour. Something like that, where it was just fucking, the sun hitting the side of the island, and there were shadows and stuff, but it was just really vibrant. But it is a gloomy day.
Yeah, it's just a big gloomy gray map. Which, it would have been cool if it was the springtime or something. They just leaned into the sort of
Ghost of Tsushima look.
It's an island, it's tropical. It's
right.
Lean into the bright vividness of it. Kind of if they made a more realistic but easy to look at caldera, but tiny for like that kind of
yeah,
could have been cool. It's a lot bigger than it feels a lot bigger than Rebirth.
Definitely. Well, Rebirth was very skinny, skinny long island.
It was skinny and long, and it had a lot of verticality that was really hard to deal with.
Yeah, which I love. I mean, I don't think any map. I think that's the best Warzone map. Verdansk was really good too, obviously, but Rebirth. I mean, I played way more Resurgence.
I feel like Ashika is nice because it has a lot more kind of like medium range areas, and it's a lot less like someone shooting you from the top of the jail type shit.
Right.
Like it's a double-edged sword. Like, yeah,
the castle is maybe the best Warzone building that I've.
Oh yeah, dude.
The way you can get
being able to run up and down. It's like it reminds me of Apex maps. Like that's what it's reminding me of is Apex Legends.
I only wish there was more of those.
Yeah. I wish there was like 4 castles. Wouldn't that be crazy?
There's more Japanese architecture in general all over the map instead of just the middle. Because the rest of it's kind of like some just more generic buildings and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the other areas aren't as special.
To be fair, it does draw you to that center of the map because of the aesthetic.
Yeah.
So it kind of works in that POI kind of way.
Mm-hmm. And then the caves underneath are really cool too. That's like an awesome aspect. Like you can go down a hole into the tunnel network.
I haven't explored those as much. I've only been killed by motherfuckers camping down there.
Oh, really?
Like when I rappel down, they're just ready.
No one's ever down there when I go. So, and I literally loot the entire thing with my squad. And I've ran into maybe like 2 people down there. It's weird.
That's crazy.
I don't know why. But I love there's like a river that runs through it. So you can like take a boat. Like I was so confused at first because I was like right next to the castle. And I was like, holy shit, I'm about to get hit by a boat. But it was like underneath me.
Yeah. No, it's like it's bringing me back to like kind of Warzone 1 when it was at its like just when Rebirth kind of just came out and when the game was really sessionable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know though. Like it feels like there is a little bit of a Halo Infinite effect going on with Warzone. It feels like there's a little bit of like everyone's kind of like, all right, is this it? Like the new Warzone map's really cool. I like it. Al Mazrah. I like Ashika Island, and I think it buys them a lot of room and time, and it's a good piece of content to drop. But I don't know. I feel like the fact that there was such a rubber band effect when it came out that they were pulled back to like Warzone 1 style shit. Like they had to put out this Rebirth Island right away, like to appease people and to get people back on track, like back playing the game. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if does that stunt them? Because look, like Warzone's always going to be a popular game. It's cemented itself. It's like Apex. It's like Siege. It's like Fortnite. It's like any of these Valorant. It's just going to be around. Because it's a game. It's just a popular live service game. So it's always going to be there, but is it ever going to be quite as big as it was before? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
It seems like Apex is eating up a lot of the territory nowadays.
Is it? I'm not sure what the numbers are. I'd be curious to know if Call of Duty is like now more evened out. I guess you would check the Twitch numbers. I don't even know how you would like to measure that.
Trying to get some data here. We looked at the data. I mean, they made a lot of changes that I really liked, and then they took a lot of them away, which I think was weak, Trying to think of some right now. Like, they took away the backpacks. Like, you just have your backpack now. You can't get bigger ones or anything like that. I think that's done. So wait, did they make it a little bit bigger then, or no?
No, it's just the small backpack. You have like 5 or 6 slots, whereas before you could get large and have like 10 slots or something. And honestly, the whole thing where you kill someone and everything pops out onto the ground now, I don't know. Like I kind of did like how because it's such a mess sometimes. Like I kind of.
Oh, is that what it is now?
Yeah,
there's not packs anymore.
You go, before you would go up to someone's backpack and you could. Get to whatever you needed. And in the heat of battle, Like I can see how that would slow you down and stuff. But so can just seeing a whole mess of shit on the floor and you're trying to pick something up and it's the wrong thing. Like I don't think that's necessarily any more efficient. And I liked how it was different before. I thought the thing where you have to find a satchel, so you're stuck with 2 plates until you find one of those, like that was interesting. You know, what else? There's a lot of changes and then they just got rid of them and I was like, oh, that's kind of a bummer because, you know, it made it like its own thing. It made a lot of good.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's what I'm saying is like, so what are the changes? What are the changes again that they made?
So the initial change was like you have a backpack, right? And you can find bigger ones, right? So I think it would go from 5 or 6 to 8 to 10 if you get a large one. They don't have that anymore. You just have the same backpack size. And then if you die,
it's just 6.
Yeah, I think it's just 6. And then if you die before, your backpack would fall on the ground. And you could go up to it and look through someone's backpack and take what you need. But now everything just pops out all over the place. And that can be like really annoying. And it's like hard to fucking see shit like
that was a progression. I don't know why they went back on that.
Yeah. So it's really hard to see like small stuff like UAVs. Like they're literally just like a little black box and they look identical to like the cluster strike. I don't know what the thought is there. It's not even like color coded. So I liked the backpacks. I hate that they took away the different sizes. I thought the satchel thing was interesting where you start with 2 plates and you're full and you have to find a satchel to be able to get 3 plates. I thought that was cool. And then what else was there? I mean, there's the stuff they haven't gotten rid of. Like when you're going up ropes, you have your gun out. That's really cool. You can get off a rope or on, like you can jump on a rope or off rope mid ascension or descension. That's nice. Like mechanical stuff. Man, what else is there? Loadouts. Before you couldn't even buy a loadout, which was crazy. I think it makes sense to be able to buy a loadout, but I kind of liked it before because people just play the meta weapon, whereas if you have to just play mostly with ground guns, or at least half the time, it's like, it's a little more battle royale. You're not just going straight to let's loot a fuck ton and buy a loadout in less than a minute and just have a fucking ripper. And yeah, then you're set. And then they added that you can buy individual weapons. The big change was you couldn't do custom perks. Like you had to pick a set of from a set of 6 predetermined perk packages.
Yeah, did they change that in multiplayer also?
I think no, I think it's just Warzone. But now I have my custom perks, so I'm gonna have Ghost. I'm gonna have Overkill, Tracker, and what's the last? And Quick Hands, so I can swap weapons and reload quick. It's the only package, really, for me.
So 4 perks?
4 perks, yeah.
You get 4 perks.
Okay. 4 perks.
Oh, right, because there's one that's like a special perk.
Mm-hmm. Super special perk.
Super special.
No.
Yeah, man. I mean, the game's mechanically very fire to play. I don't know. I really I hope this year I can I'm supposed to be getting some money at some point, speaking of being broke. I wonder if I should just invest a little bit of it. Just a little bit of it. Into making this room chill as fuck and getting a new office chair.
That would be tight.
One that'll last me for life, like a $1,700 one.
Right, exactly. Yeah. You should.
Yeah, just getting this room to be like the sickest shit ever.
You're in that room 24/7. Not actually, but
I'm not. I mean, I'm in front of my fucking PS5 on my couch that's too small for me. A lot more often.
Invest in a new couch instead.
I need to invest in like a dual mom setup. A dual moms.
Dual money? I thought you had
money, be many.
Your current computer is just the one monitor?
And look, I got nothing on the walls.
Yeah.
That's just sitting there. All this crap's just sitting there. It's not even supposed to be there. It's just sitting there. There could be a fucking couch there. There could be fucking art back there. We could have LEDs there.
Yeah.
We could have a better desk here, dual monitor, and then a fucking chair that's not a piece of shit that will actually hold my weight for ever.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
So
I would. Yeah. That wouldn't even cost that much.
No.
Besides the chair.
I just want to. Just the couch would be the real. That and this would be big.
Oh, you're gonna get another couch to go like where that drum set is?
I want a couch or a love seat right here. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be chill.
A real chill spot. That maybe I can eventually make into like a little reading nook. Get some lamps. Get
a little nap time in there.
Get a little honk shoe hour. Get a little honk shoe action. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but I'm enjoying Warzone.
One of the coolest changes that I don't use it that much, but the fact that you can like pop outside of a window when you're riding in a car and just like sit on the edge of it, and then there's another option to just crawl on top of the car and you're just standing on it. Like, love that.
It's very fun.
Well, and then the water combat, and then you got a bunch of boats that you can use now.
You got the water combat,
and yeah, I mean, there's like dozens, and it's crazy. Like thinking, I'm like, man, there's that too, and there's this. Like they made a fuck ton of changes, and then they reeled back. It feels like half of them, so it's kind of a shame. But Warzone 1 changed so much from when it first started to like where it ended. So I think the changes will keep coming. Hopefully they don't keep coming and then going away, just because people are complaining, because people will complain about change no matter what, if it's good or bad or what. So.
I think the thing that's most, you got to give them the most credit for it. And the thing that I like most about Modern Warfare 2 2022, in general, is that every gun for the most part feels very powerful and feels very good to shoot and feels very viable in any firefight. It still feels very balanced to me. Yeah. Like I'm flattening dudes. Like I really am. It feels like I'm playing it as well as I would play multiplayer. It doesn't feel like I'm just running around and then getting schmelted from like 100 feet away by some random. That doesn't happen very often. It's mostly just a bunch of chaotic fun the whole time, which is what I love about it. So it seems like they're finding a happy medium between like the high movement kind of tweaker players, or I guess I should call them sweats, and the casuals that want it to be more of like a mill sim, and I guess that's not casuals, but I don't know.
One thing that I don't know, maybe it's for the best, but that I hate is that snipers are not a one shot down for full play guys.
I think they're adding that headshots aren't they, or no?
They accidentally made it so that if you're using incendiary rounds, it will be a one shot upper body kill to, I think maybe just a headshot. But if they have any plates gone, then yeah, it's a down. And then they fixed that because they were like fixed an error where incendiary did that, and I was like, wow.
Where a sniper bullet got a guy on his back, as if.
Dude, the one day that happened, I was going off with the sniper. Like I probably put up like 15 kills in a match, just all with the sniper, and I was like, all right, this is I'm back. But
you're like, all right, hoo hee ha. Yeah, dude. This guy I watched named Jay Cucci is very good. JKUCCI. If you guys want to check him out, maybe you could throw some footage in right here, Tony.
Yeah, is he good?
Yeah, he's
good. Call of Duty
he's
player?
Good. He's good. Yeah, I found him on TikTok. He's like one of those TikTokers who's just like just a super crazy Warzone movement player, and he fucking hated this new game. Would like literally go back to Warzone 1 to play it and make content out of it.
Wow.
But he's still playing this game, this Modern Warfare 2. So I don't know. It's a pretty solid game overall. I think it's really like, I don't know. It's an improvement over the first one. I feel.
I would agree. I think anyone that's like, oh, this is unplayable, or like, oh, I'm gonna go back and play the previous one. Like, it's not. Like it's hardly distinguishable from the first one. Aside, I mean, there are tons of changes, but like it doesn't feel that different. I mean, there's like the dolphin dive mechanic, instead of the slide canceling.
It's the same engine, man.
Yeah,
they just took the same engine and tweaked it.
Yeah,
and they improved some of the graphics and all that.
Yeah, and they improve the gunsmith. Like you can change the receiver, right? So if you're using like a TAC 56 AR, you can then change the receiver so it's on the battle rifle TAC and have all the same attachments. Just shit like that. I don't know. That's
it's pretty slick.
Yeah,
it's a pretty slick thing.
People that complain about it, I think, are they're just professional complainers.
That's been in your bag recently. Just a little Yoda at the end of a sentence. You're a complaining bitch, right?
What do you think about that?
Just really adds a sting to whatever you say.
Exactly.
Just like, yeah, right. Like you're just agreeing with yourself before the person has time to respond.
Gotta admit, right? Gotta concede.
You gotta admit.
You gotta admit.
I knew this kid who would say, at the end of everything, and it just made me want to fucking kill him. Like, it was just like, yeah, but are you, Like,
you see, that's, you can't say because then you can say, no, I don't know, actually. No one does, or something like that. But if you just go,
right. It's so much more, you're so much more defenseless to it. It's just like, no. It's like, not I didn't say It's not a
I was like, no. I don't know. Maybe I could say
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's fine. It's like, no. None of that. You're like, I think it's fine.
It's foolproof.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, I've been playing also a lot of The Last of Us 2.
Really? Okay. Going through it again. You beat it, right?
Yeah, I beat it in 2020. And man, the reason when I first beat it, I was like, yeah, I'm immediately playing this over again. This is like one of the greatest games I've ever played. And so I restarted it, but then I paused it. And like a couple of years later, I'm coming back now, and I got a PS5. Like I cracked it back open to kind of just like, ooh, what's the fucking vibe?
Mm-hmm.
And it runs at like 60 FPS on PS5. It's like it's very fire. It looks great. It looks incredible. Just runs like butter. And man, like on TikTok, you just see like aggressive gameplay of people just who must have played Last of Us 2 for like a long time.
Right.
And they just use guns, but they kill everyone before like anyone really can tell what the fuck's going on. They're just like running around, going right up to a guy, shooting him in the head, turning around, bow and arrow, running up, stabbing someone. Like it's fucking crazy. There's the best section of Last of Us 2, in my opinion, is Seattle Day 2. There's a part called Hillcrest, and you're going through this overgrown area that's like a suburb, but it's like overgrown, and there's like rows of houses, and it's like this really wide open area, and there's like tons of bad guys, and you don't realize how many fucking bad guys there are. There's bad guys, and there's also dogs. Like there's dogs sniffing your trail. So it's just a really fun encounter. And yeah, it's just like such a cool game to watch people be really fucking good at it, because the action and the violence and all that shit is fucking crazy. But the story and the atmosphere and just playing it feels like you are completely alone sometimes. Like when you're not with a partner in the game, you feel so incredibly alone and helpless, like you're on your own. Because it's like, I don't know if you've ever played these games, Tony, but it's one of those things where like firing one bullet is like, maybe that's one of 5 bullets that you have.
No, yeah. It. I mean, because I played the first like 20% of Last of Us 1, and I was like, man, this is fucking hard as shit. Like I just wasted a bullet, and that's gone. You're not getting that back.
One of the like most realistic games I've ever played, and it's so fun.
All right. Yeah,
anyways.
What can you tell me about the Rat King? Or the rat monster or something?
The Rat King. Is this from The Last of Us 2?
Yeah, it's like a combo zombie or something, like where a bunch of zombies are melded together or something, and that's going to be in the second season of the show. I read.
Oh yeah, this is a fucking terrifying part where, you get ambushed by like a giant monster. Yeah.
Yeah, they called it the Rat King. I don't know why. I thought it was like, is it made of rats, like zombie mushroom rats? But no, it's just like called that for some reason. But
yeah, The Last of Us show, by the way, from a special effects standpoint, is fucking nailing it too.
It is, though. I will say the last episode, like, it was fine, good acting and all that, but there was no zombies in it. There wasn't really much action in it besides the very end, and it did leave on a good cliffhanger. But you know, I'd like to see a little more high intensity stuff. You know.
I mean, to me, it's because the episode before it was so intense, had so many zombies, so much special effects.
Mm-hmm.
But like in this one, they establish so much. I feel like they switch off episodes where one episode will be like a bunch of shit happens and then they get to a place, and then the next episode will be like them mostly figuring out what happens in that place.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next episode will be a bunch of shit. Like they'll you know, travel a lot, and it's almost like the episode we just watched was like a setup for like a really big episode next.
I hope so. We'll find out tonight, I suppose.
Oh, that's fucking right. Wow.
Indeed. I just I hope it's felt relatively PG or PG-13, you know, and I just want to see some brutality, some more darkness, you know, more grimness, because like I mean, they did nail that in like some of the earlier episodes with like that kid that shows up, and they're like testing him to see if he's sick, and then later they show them dumping the kid's like body into a pit to burn because they had to kill him because he was infected and stuff. So there was some dark stuff, but
yeah, it's also the apocalypse and like his fucking daughter, and
yeah, it started out very dark for sure.
I still think I don't know. It's like everyone that I talk to about the show has like reservations about it, or thinks like, yeah, this could have been better, and this. I've been watching it like, dude, I'm gonna need 15 seasons of this shit. This is phenomenal. That's how I felt. I've been totally uncritically just enjoying it. Not uncritically, like without critically thinking, but like I've had nothing critical to really say about it. It like my mind, nothing ever fires up in my mind of like, I wish it was more like that. Like I'm just like loving it. It's crazy. I don't know why. I don't think other people are crazy for their critiques. I think I'm just so in love with it, and I love the story in the game so much. I think I'm just fanning out about it, and I just love it.
Well, one of the things that I've seen, like I've seen some people like criticize Bella Ramsey's acting. I think she's good. Like, you know, she does the job, and
yeah, I think she does great.
Yeah, Pedro is cool. And the supporting actors are all pretty solid.
Pedro's fantastic.
Yeah. Though I will say, fucking, I saw someone post it, but his Game of Thrones co-star, right, Nikolai Coster-Waldau, he would have been a really good match for Joel, as far as like.
He looks more like Troy Baker than Pedro Pascal, but I honestly, when you look at the features and the hair color and everything, Pedro Pascal's a better fit for Joel.
Yeah, no, I mean, I like Pedro Pascal a lot, you know, and he's blowing up right now, so it's good for him.
He's so hot right now.
He's
Hansel's so hot right now.
I mean, he really is. He's fucking on the biggest HBO show. He's on the biggest Disney show.
He's in Marvel movies like Wonder Woman.
Right, no, DC movie. Is he in a Marvel movie?
Yeah.
He might be.
He might be in fucking Black Widow or some shit. I don't know. No, he's in Wonder Woman 1984, I think.
Yeah, which, oh my God.
Yeah, terrible.
Jesus Christ.
But he's in other shit too.
The Nick Cage movie.
Oh, and that movie was great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That was the best part. That movie really was great.
Yeah, he's just a really likable guy, so good on him.
He's a likable mate, you know what I mean? He's a likable guy.
He's got the riz. Yeah.
He's rather charismatic, isn't he?
Bro,
he's got the
Rizzler.
Riz. Bro is the Rizzleton. Guess what movie's behind my head, Tony?
Oh boy, let me see. Is it paused?
Let's see how long it can take you to guess. Nope.
It's not paused. It looks like nothing's
not paused. You gotta look careful. Oh, now you got it. Now. You got it now.
Is it Attack of the Clones?
You got it.
Yeah. Recognize that room that they're in.
I recognize we only keep the shutters halfway open in here. Only halfway open they stay.
Yeah.
Anakin, he's like, I think he's going to the dark side because he tried to open the shutters more than I like them to be open. He tried to really let in too much light into the room.
That's how Yoda talks when he's out of a work meeting. He's
right.
Just on his,
just between him and Mace.
I'm just going to unwind and just kind of speak freely now since we're done with the pleasantries. You know,
dude,
I just think the kid's a little destabilized. And, I think he needs therapy. I think we need to get him in therapy. He's cracked. Don't get me wrong. He's cracked. He's very good at. He's very good at this.
It's like that's how Yoda sounds. Instead of like this, he's like,
he's very good. Truthfully, he's very good.
I really know how you're doing that.
You ever just chub your neck to make it sound like this?
Dude, apparently they're the Star Wars, their plan is to move forward.
Apparently, you hear what the Star Wars are doing?
The Star Wars
apparently
is
Star Wars. Apparently, the company Star Wars. You hear what they're doing?
They have laid out a sort of plan where they have some pillars moving forward for what they're gonna create, and those pillars are characters that include Rey, Baby Yoda.
Wait. Pillars?
Just like, yeah, it's going to be like it's like, I don't know what they mean by that necessarily, but it's like the group of characters that is going to be the focus of the next, whatever, trilogy or next movie. And it's like Rey, Baby Yoda, Chewbacca, R2-D2, and a new character. And I'm just like...
Wait, say that again slowly.
Basically, what they're going to do is they're going to have Rey they have a set of characters that are going to be sort of like...
No. I mean, the characters that they're talking about, not the whole thing.
Oh, okay. Rey, Chewie, R2, a Grogu, and a new character.
Okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be literally.
They're like, we're gonna make 14 more motion pictures based on this, and it's all gonna be TV. There's gonna be a Chewie show. There's gonna be a Wookiee show.
Oh my god, kill me if there's a Wookiee show. Like what?
Yeah.
No.
And there's gonna be write-ups like it's actually a really good show. You really should watch Wookiees. You need to watch Wookiees. It's an important cultural moment that everyone. Yeah, Kashyyyk. You need to watch Kashyyyk. Okay, here's 10 reasons why. I'm writing this to pay rent. Just FYI.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Pay my rent.
Well, yeah. How are Chewie and R2? Chewie and R2 were like iconic, great characters, and that's like it's almost like they're almost like props in the movie. You know, they're like cool, like what? They don't have any lines. Yeah, they're cool looking, like they're just cool looking things to.
R2 was a little guy that could unlock shit. C3PO was there to like interpret alien shit and interpret it to the audience. Chewie was the muscle. He was just there to support Han Solo
and be like a cute bear character, you know, like an ugly.
Yeah, apparently the backstory was like Han Solo, is like he freed the Wookiees, like he was responsible for that. So like, you know how like Jar Jar has a life debt to Qui-Gon Jinn, like Chewie has a life debt to Han Solo, and I'm like, I always kind of saw them more as just like pals.
I thought, like, well, I mean, if the Solo movie is canon, I don't even remember what happened in it, but I remember he got like
not at all.
Oh, okay.
I just remember Woody Harrelson. No, I was saying not at all, as in I don't remember what happened in it either.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know he got thrown into a pit with Chewie, and Chewie was like a monster in there that was supposed to kill him. and it was just like all muddy and stuff. And
I know he got thrown into a pit, and Chewie's fur got all sticked up like poop, like if you had fur on your asshole and you tried to poop through it.
If you had dingleberries all over your body.
Yeah, if you were dingled up top to bottom, from the top of your crack to the bottom of it,
swimming in dingleberry soup.
From the top of your crack to the seam of your balls, you just had dingles all over the place. If you can imagine that.
No,
that's kind of like what Chewy. That's kind of like no, you can't. I know you can't. I know you can't. Don't try. I know you can't imagine that because you're not imagining the chaos I have in my head right now. The amount of dingleberries I'm imagining in my head, you couldn't possibly. You'd puke at the. If I described it to you, you'd puke.
You'd faint. You'd puke, then faint, then puke again while you're passed out.
Puke, then faint. Right, and then you die. You choke on your own puke, on your own faint puke, and then you would be no longer alive, essentially. So be grateful for that.
You're welcome. Yeah,
welcome, and you're welcome. Anyways, that's what happened to Chewbacca. That's how we met Han Solo. Was all of that. Was all of what I just said. Is how
did you follow that? How
Chewbacca met Han Solo. You understand? Yeah, you catch all that. You write all that down. George Lucas talks like this. Talks like he's from Texas now.
Talk like this.
I'm talking like this. I'm from the South. I don't know what the South talks like.
Bro, yeah. So, but long story short, that just sounds completely uninteresting to me. So, I'm fully good with just moving on from that topic because woof. Like Star Wars, and they're like, yeah, it's gonna be Rey and Chewie.
Yeah, I mean, just utter dog shit, right? It's just terrible. Grogu, it's like, dude,
that was a moment in like 2019 that people were obsessed with that, or 2020. I don't even remember. 2020 because it was pandemic.
It was 2020. Yeah, it's like catch me ever caring about that,
right?
Ever. I don't even know why children now care about Star Wars. It's a really fucking cool universe. But I don't know. I don't know. I feel like part of me feels like if I was a kid now, I wouldn't be as into Star Wars, but part of me is also like maybe it would just be fucking awesome because I couldn't get enough Star Wars when I was a fucking.
Well, think about what's successful that they're doing right now. Mandalorian. Why is that successful? Because he's a cool character.
Yeah.
They haven't done that. All they've done is they made Rey, who's like a scoop of vanilla ice cream.
Exactly.
They made Poe, who is like, what is he even doing? Like, he's a cool fighter pilot. Like, he didn't really have any important story at all. And then you had Finn, who they turned into a clown.
Poe and Finn got nothing.
Yeah, fully just. Finn had like a cool maybe arc in the first movie where it looked like he was going to become a Jedi, stormtrooper to Jedi. And then they made him a clown in the second movie, gave him a storyline that was ultimately inconsequential. Like, they went to go find this code breaker, they got the wrong guy, and then what that guy did ended up not even mattering. So it was fully irrelevant. And then he tried to sacrifice himself, and he got cucked from that. And then in the third movie, he was just yelling Rey the whole time. So he was just cucked again. And then Kylo, you had no idea what his motivation was or like what he even wanted, or like, I don't think they knew either. He had a cool design, but he's just such an unlikable, whiny character that I can't really see.
Which character?
Kylo.
Right.
Yeah. And then
and
then after that, I mean, they had like Phasma, who they teased was like a cool like part of the story, but it just was so irrelevant. Like, even less relevant than like Boba Fett was in the original, Yeah, and then putting out all these shows where there's like, like, even if Andor is good, it's like, yeah, he's just like a normal looking dude. Like, well, give me Kit Fisto, give me some fucking like.
Give me Kit Fisto.
Plo Koon. Give me some cool fucking Jedis like doing badass shit. Like, they have so much back history, but then instead they're like, no, we need to push forward. We need to scrap all the post original trilogy lore that had been written for decades that they could have mined, Let's scrap that. Make Luke a bitch. Make him a quitter. Kill off Han immediately. You know, have Leia do the weird ass like surviving in space thing, and then like Mary Poppinsing back into the ship. That was weird. And then have the two male main characters be just either clowns or irrelevant, and make them the main female character just kind of the, you know, wallpaper levels of exciting, and then make the bad guy sort of a whiny guy with no sort of indication of what he actually wants or what his plans are, or what his goal is. Yeah,
no, I mean, these are good movies.
The what?
No, dude, these are good movies.
Yeah.
You just don't get it.
Right.
Yeah.
They're deep.
Last Jedi's good. The Last Jedi's a good movie. Yeah. People think this.
Yeah, there's
really
there's
soberly say
been
this.
entire careers made off of how bad that movie was. Started on YouTube. People, so many channels now started because they made video essays on how bad that movie sucked and why specifically it did. And there's dozens, maybe even hundreds of channels that are just kind of commentary channels now. And they just roast everything that those companies put out because they haven't been that
it is making some careers out here.
Yeah. So, but you want to rip one of those emails at least?
Let's do it.
We got 8 minutes left about till we hit an hour. So
this one comes from Jordan. It says email virgin here.
Wow.
Hey, Bokers and special guest. I'm a longtime listener and first-time emailer. I kept meaning to send something, however, never thought of anything good to say, but fuck it. Probably a controversial opinion, but I think the video game industry as a whole is the best it's ever been. AAA titles are usually the face of the entire community just because of the budgets and branding, but they shouldn't be. Indie games come out every day by self-taught video game enthusiasts, and they're downright fun. It used to only be big studios could make games and contract voice actors, but there's so many tools and templates you can jump off of now. Take Choo Choo Charles, for example. It was a meme game made by one person, and it came fully... Tony, you should put some pictures of Choo Choo Charles over this while I'm talking. Write a note down of that. I'm just kidding. It was a meme game made by one person, and it came fully finished at launch, plus ray tracing because the engine it was made on. Yeah, I remember that. Everyone from Markiplier to Moist Critical played it, giving him free publicity, they probably meant, and it felt more made with love than really anything in the last decade. I would love to know y'all's thoughts on the state of gaming nowadays, and if there's any indie/AA games you've been gripping on. Love the potty. And free Young Thug.
There's actually a real quick. There's like a documentary coming out about Young Thug and Gunna's whole situation on Hulu
already.
Yeah,
Jesus,
I know.
Okay,
so I'm gonna maybe peep that. But
okay, it's fast.
Damn. Yeah, I know.
Just like it's a 4-month-old story, so we're just gonna produce a full documentary and distribute it within half a year. So
yeah, I was pretty sure. I was like, isn't that still like fully in the middle of going on? But
yeah, it's like whatever. But yeah,
it's still going on.
My opinion on that is I don't play enough indie games. Part of the reason I want to set up like a PC layer chill vibe is so that my PC becomes my primary shit again. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I do not have the patience most of the time to play the indie. I mean, it's not true, but I just don't play a lot of indie games. There's so many I want to. There's a lot in my Steam library I want to and haven't. I mean, I could pull it up. I could fucking tell you. Yeah, I mean, like Bastion I want to play. I still want to finish Deathloop. I know that's not indie probably. Gundam Evolution I don't think is indie either, but I like that game. I like Super Meat Boy, fucking Hotline Miami. I don't know. And I wouldn't really agree that the video game industry is the best it's ever been. I'm sure there's pros and cons to how it is now versus how it is Oh, it was then?
That's too nebulous of a term of like the best it's ever been. It's the most
it's still an industry
it's
still an industry that's still inherently an industry. It's like a for-profit industry that exploits the talents of people to make giant companies lots of money. I think my response to this email would be, and I'll keep this brief. Valve is a great example of a company that, yes, it's still fucked up. It's still fucked up that it's like a company, it's a corporation, it's whatever. It's still a hierarchical institution. You know what I mean? But something like Valve, and I say this all the time, you know, the system we live under, all the best, most creative shit that gets made in it gets made out of conditions that are completely contrary to scarcity and competition. Meaning there's a space created, a safety net of creativity that has no immediate ROI expectation that is invested in, and there's a space created to take risks and to try new things and to have time and space to make something. Mm-hmm. When Gabe Newell and them made Valve, they did just that. They came from making Microsoft shit. They were rich, and so they started a company and started making games, and they're the greatest, apart from Nintendo, probably the greatest, you know, video game company that's ever existed, literally. And you know, I forgot what I was trying to. I don't think there should. I think bigger picture on the industry shit. I think we should get to a point where indie. I do think it's true for sure that it's easier to make a hit game with very few people. That's just objectively true now, for sure. What I think though is that right now there's so much like attention to live service games and Twitch streaming and competitive gaming and all this shit. It's making it way more. It's making all these little markets are popping up within the industry now that are making it much worse. But I would say I want games made in a world where companies and talent are treated like an even better and more radically different, both socially and materially version of like Valve. That's what I would want to see, is like how good would those games be if all the popular video game people didn't have to worry about rent, anything, and we just gave them creative freedom for like 5 years to make a game and it shipped out working and playable. What would that be like? So sorry, end of rant.
Yeah. No, I mean, you summed it up. Like there's more possibilities now than ever, you know? And there's more proliferation, right? Like,
are the games in the community as good as they were? No, not necessarily. Like, they're still good. There's cool ass games.
I mean, video games still rule. Like, video games are more popular now than they ever were when we were kids.
Sure, there's definitely way more community by volume. I guess I'm thinking of quality here,
right?
Like Halo 3 file sharing. Bungie had their own poppin' ass website where people were. It was basically their own social media of Halo screenshots. Mm-hmm. I would be on that shit in class all the time on Bungie.net, just looking at Halo 3 videos and pictures and seeing what rank my friends were and what games I'd played recently. And dude, that shit went off. Mm-hmm. So I'm just thinking like the games. Could you say the games used to be better? You could say that. I don't think it necessarily whatever. I think just like the spirit of like in-person community, couch multiplayer, and just like, I don't know, having G4 too. It was all kind of a more of a subculture then. Whereas now it's just a massive industry, but
it's mainstream. It's bigger than the movie and music industry.
It's mainstream, dude.
Or I don't know if it's bigger than the music industry. It's bigger than the movie industry. Like annually, it brings in, like I'm not sure how much more, but it does bring in more, which is crazy. But also makes sense because microtransactions exist now, and but yeah, you're right. Like it all exists, or all the AAA games exist to before making a quality product exist to make profit, regardless of the quality. So in that sense, no, but I guess, that was the case before with AAA games, but now with microtransactions and all that stuff, and the ability to just put out a game with a ton of flaws because it can be updated, but this, everyone knows that. Like that, it's like the everyday complaint. Like, oh, can you just put out a finished game?
Right.
Like, well, no, because there's no such thing as a finished game. Because if you're able to update
we can
it,
sell it to you by
not?
piecemeal now. Yeah.
Right. So that's why I'm not giving a cent to Call of Duty or anything like that. I'm not buying any skins. Shiva was like, man, dude, I spent so much money on skins for Warzone 1. Now I don't have any of them. I'm like, yeah, I exactly.
Yep, that's the
bummer.
And unfortunately, we all know we're wasting our money when we buy them, but we don't care because we consider it money we were going to blow anyways.
Right.
Whenever you buy that type of shit. It's so funny.
So I don't know.
Anyhow,
saying it's better now than ever. It's like there's too many factors to just say outright it is or isn't. There's things that are better and there's things that have stayed the same and there's things that are worse. It's too nuanced to give like a blanket answer to. But there's probably more good indie games now than ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would just make sense because there's more video games now than ever. And there's more ways to play them. And there's more community, regardless of the quality. There's more like, YouTubers and forums and Reddits and all that stuff. So yeah, it's all more accessible.
Absolutely, dude. Yo, y'all, that is gonna be it. We got another email. We'll save it for next time.
From AA Ron, if you're listening, we'll get to you, AA Ron.
We'll get to you. But we appreciate it. Thank you for watching Jaded Forum, episode 172.
You said Jaded Forum.
Did I say Jaded Forum? Wow. Welcome, Boke.
You're cracked.
Episode 172. Dude, my life is Jaded Forum. What the fuck are you talking about? This is the thing I do for like an hour a week. Yeah. The amount of time. That I've put into Jaded Forum.
Fucking good shit.
Anyways.
Like, yeah. 172 WNB. Forever.
That's right. That's right.
It's good
All
shit.
All right. Sorry about that. But yeah, welcome Boke 172. Thank you for watching.
Peace.
Welcome Boke forever, motherfuckers. Peace the fuck.